Good evening, Mishawaka Network viewers. I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Sean Kanarecki, and we're here to bring to you some girls track and field. Mishawaka, Penn, and Mishawaka Marian will be competing here before you. As you can see, we've got our first event coming up here shortly. Sean, you had the opportunity to go ahead and call a track meet last week. I believe that was Thursday, and that was the boys track team, Mishawaka team, facing off against the Elkhart Lions. How was that?
It was great. Sad we didn't win that meet, but we're here today. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a little cold. It's a little cold today.
It is. It is a little cold. I will say that. Walking into the press box, it was kind of a challenge. It was actually a challenge to get that door open because the wind is quite extreme as well. We just had the final call for the girls 4x8, or 4x800 rather, varsity relay here, and we're going to get started with that here shortly. We'll go ahead and list who we've got for each team here for you once we hear that. And we're off. The relay is obviously one of the funner events that we see all day long, all evening. So it should be a fun one here. We've got, with Penn, we've got Ella N is what we're going to go with here. And then we've got Sarah Hungerman, Kelsey Meyer, and Marissa Manbeck. The way I'm going to read these is going to be the way, the heat's going to go. We've got Ella starting off in the first heat, and then so on and so forth, followed by Sarah, Kelsey, and Marissa. Along with Penn, we've got Lila Van Hovelen. We've got Luna Liu, Maddox McLean, and Emily Georgian. In Mishawaka, we've got first Sylvia Shields, then Maral Farin, then Tara Naragon, and then Mackenzie Holt. From Mishawaka Marian, we've got Brady Desmarius. We've got Valerie Dondelinger, got Camila Wasowski, and we've got Grace Zentz. The relay is one of the more exciting, but also one of the more stressful events. At least that's what I hear from runners. So we'll see how this one plays out. Right now, Sean, we've got a Penn runner in the lead. Penn runners really taking the lead here. We've got a Penn runner in the lead in first, and then right behind her, one of her teammates right behind her, and then obviously in a different relay team. Sky not as beautiful as we've seen, huh, Sean?
No, not at all. Especially since tomorrow there's supposed to be another big storm running through our area.
Yeah, you say a big storm, another one, because we had a horrible storm take place not too long ago, Sunday evening. A lot of damage here in Mishawaka and around the area. As you can see here, the lanes. In lane 1, we've got Penn. Lane 2, we've also got Penn. Lane 3, we've got Mishawaka High School. And in lane 4, we've got Mishawaka Marian. Both of the Penn teams, quite the handoff there. They're off to a good start. Marian just completed their handoff. And now Mishawaka. I gotta say, Sean, I've called a few different sports in my 3 years with the Mishawaka Network, but I think I've been the least aware of how track works. As far as sports, I'm usually pretty aware with the rules, not so much with track and field.
Yeah, me too. I'm not very versed in the rules of this sport, but I did call the last game, so I'm okay. I got a few ideas.
Yeah, track meets are fun to watch. I will say, especially the relays. Those are very, very fun to watch.
I always say the 4x800 relay is the best one to start off with in the beginning of the meet. It's honestly one of the better long ones that we have for our relays.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the longer events, obviously, like you said, because it's a relay, but it is very fun. Again, we're in the second heat here. We're all firing for Mishawaka running currently.
You can see some of the athletes on the side cheering on their respective teams.
That's what you love to see. Sportsmanship, very important. I got to say, I think as far as the events, I've heard probably the most about the 4x4 and the 4x8. The 4x8 especially because of that first lap as opposed to the second lap. Some people like to go quick the first lap and then kind of take it easy the second lap, and others completely the opposite.
Yeah, there's not much variety, but when you see a little bit of variety, you can pick up on it. I mean, as you can see in a little bit, a few of the athletes are taking it slow around that far stretch. This Penn athlete actually having a very nice lead on
Another
the
Penn
other
athlete.
twos. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just saw now that both Penn teams, Penn A and Penn B, their affiliations, they have both completed their handoff. So they are now on their third heat. And we see Marian Farin making her way. Sylvia Shields awaiting the baton exchange. And the Marian runner on her way as well. That is Sarah Hungerman. Excuse me, no, that's the Penn runner. We've got Valerie Dondelinger here to hand off the baton. And that was a messier exchange. I know we don't got that on your screen for you, but that leads us to talk about, Sean, how important the exchange is in relays. If you mess up an exchange, not only can it result in disqualification, but a little bit less of a risk. It can be just a little bit demoralizing as far as your spirits.
It's kind of like fumbling the ball in football.
Right.
You don't want to really do it.
Or committing a turnover in basketball. It's just not something you want to happen. And especially in a sport like running, you really need those spirits high.
Especially because of all the physical endurance that you have to even run this or play this kind of sport.
Oh yeah, Sean. If I'm gonna go for a run at any time, I better be in a good mood. Because if I'm not in a good mood, it's not gonna be a good run.
Just like a leg day always brings out the worst in people.
Yeah, it's tough. Sylvia Shields making her way, finishing up that first lap. And the Penn runners really, really moving out there. They're making very, very good time. I'm sure the Penn coaches are very happy with how they're performing right now. I wonder how that works, Shauna. If you've got, such a huge team like Penn, that it's a big, very, very big school, and you have that situation with all their sports where they have a ton of players or a lot of runners or whatever the case may be. I wonder how that is when you've got so many kids that you have 2 varsity teams that you're running in one event. It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure the boys' L card had like 3 or 4.
That's insane. Or
maybe it was the girls' L card. I can't remember, but one of the L card had like A, B, C, and a D team, which was like immense in my opinion.
Yeah, that's wild. And both Penn teams neck and neck right now, just completing their final handoff exchange of that baton. Making their way, just 2 final laps for those 2 runners. Sylvia Shields making her way, approaching the 3rd and final turn.
And here in a little bit, we'll have our one of our own athletes here singing the anthem for the stadium. So
yeah, I heard she's good friends with one of our crew members, Evan Lynn, I think.
I think I've heard that before too.
Yeah.
I think Evan Lynn would also deduct that.
Sylvia Shields wrapping it up. Getting ready to hand off the baton here to Mackenzie Holt, her teammate. And she's off. I think that doesn't look like Mackenzie Holt. That looks like Tara Naragon, but that's what we have written on our sheet, Sean. Mackenzie Holt, it appears, is actually not at this track meet right now.
We do have another event here happening here at the Mishawaka High School. We have a choir concert happening at about, I believe, 6 or 6:30.
Something like that, yeah. The annual spring choir concert.
So, when we get about that time, if you want to hear some music, go slide over there and maybe come on back, you never know. Or just stay over there and listen to some dope singing.
Yeah.
Kids, our choir concert people work really hard to provide with good entertainment.
I may be biased, but I would also say, Sean, that our fine arts department one of the better in the area.
Mm-hmm. Especially for that Cinderella play.
Tara Naragon finishing up her first lap here. And Sean, those Penn runners, they're catching up to the Marian runner here, almost lapping her, which is, I imagine, has to be something like, I mean, it's like dunking on somebody in basketball. It's just not what
It's
you want to
you're
happen.
already going to get the point. Ain't no need to be flashy about it.
Right. And they're going to go ahead and finish that up. They didn't lap her, but they did finish just a few feet short of her. So they have completed. They're both Penn A and Penn B have completed their 4x8 here, their 4x8 relay. Tara Naragon of Mishawaka and Grace Zentz of Mishawaka Marian completing their final laps.
Thursday you even made a guest appearance later into the night.
Yeah, I had a few interviews scattered in there with some respectable Mishawaka runners and Elkhart runners, as well as a few coaches. Coach Cove got on there for a little bit.
Seems like they're coming around that final turn and up that final 100 meters or so.
Naragon and Zentz neck and neck. Zentz takes the lead here. Let's see if she can finish. Some quick strides there, Sean, and I think she's going to cross that finish line, earning third place for Mishawaka Marian. That was quite the final lap there, quite the turn there. Just that final 100 meters said a lot. Naragon had the lead for, I believe, both laps.
She did. Both the Penn athletes actually had a very nice lead the entire time.
Yeah. So we've got the final time here for you. But we're going to go ahead and kick it off to not only a Mishawaka runner, but the lead in the Cinderella musical here. Let's see what she's got. ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure it won't come as a surprise to you, but that is the voice of Cinderella, who just performed that beautiful rendition of the national anthem for you. Glad we were able to get that on stream.
Say what you want about the. Say what you want about the high wind, but that flag looked amazing during that little segment.
Yeah, beautiful scenery matched with a beautiful voice is exactly what you want. That was quite the rendition of the national anthem there.
Seems like we'll be on to our next little event. Girls 100-meter hurdles, junior varsity. What's some of the people we have on that one, Dylan? Oh, Daniel. Pardon me.
Girls 100-meter junior varsity. We've got, starting off, Penn. We've got in lane 2, Veronica Horner. In lane 3, Mishawaka Harmony Lombardo. Lane 4 of Penn, Lauren Peckus. In lane 5, also from Penn, Victoria Gordeeva. And also from Penn High School in lane 6, Savannah Oliver. Junior varsity, Sean, in every single event in high school sports. And I suppose they use the terms varsity and junior varsity in collegiate sports as well. It's a great opportunity for younger athletes to go ahead and develop so they can move their way up to varsity and compete at the highest level.
Mm-hmm. And I know for Mishawaka, we have a few open spots on the varsity, so these really are able to help our coaches hone in on who they want on those varsity seats.
Before we get this race kicked off, we've got some results from that girls 4x800 varsity relay. Penn A, that's their affiliation, they totaled at a time of 10:42. And just right behind them is Penn B. They finished off with a time of 10:48. Followed by Penn, we've got Mishawaka Marian's results. They topped out at 11:59. And Mishawaka following just short, 2 seconds to be exact, almost on the dot. Final time of 12:01.
Not horrible times out of all the teams today for that first event. As you can see, some of the athletes about to run this event over there, lining up, getting ready.
And they've got those starting blocks, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that aren't aware of what those are those metal contraptions or whatever you want to call them that the runners are putting their feet on before they start. That's the name, starting block. Kind of helps them get it on the right foot, start off on the right foot. No pun intended. There are some coaches, Sean, that swear by them, and there are others that say they're not necessary, but I think most believe strongly in those starting blocks for certain events.
From what I've seen, I would say that they're very useful in these dashes, the very short ones that you're like trying to get as much speed as you can to hand it off, or like for this one, 100-meter hurdle. You need a little bit extra oomph in your takeoff. I understand why the blocks could be perceived as useful.
And Sean, these hurdles, do I think I could go out there and do that? I'd like to think so, but do I think it hurt if I was very, very wrong? Yes, I do. It would definitely hurt.
I don't even think I could do it on, like, my best day.
I think I might be able to get out there and get it done, 100 meters. The 300-meter, though, I don't know. I might be too gassed from the 200 meters I just run to go ahead and do the rest of it with hurdles, too. I don't know.
I think I could run 100 meters. I just don't think I could,
do the hurdles.
Do the hurdles at all.
Let's see.
Seems like two Penn athletes out there in the front. One of our Mishawaka athletes falling close behind.
Lombardo appears to be in third here. The two Penn runners finishing strong. And I believe Lombardo finished off fourth there, the Mishawaka runner. And I believe, we'll get the results here shortly, but I believe Veronica Horner of lane 2, she goes to Penn High School. I believe she got the win there on that 100-meter JV hurdle. And quickly following, we've got the girls' 100-meter hurdle varsity edition, we'll call it. We've got Anaya Johnson of Mishawaka in lane 1. Lillian Mullins of Penn in lane 2. Ella Bailey of Penn in lane 3. Morgan Ford of Mishawaka in lane 4. Victoria Sanchez of Penn in lane 5. In lane 6, we've got Peyton Mason of Mishawaka Marian. And then Lillian Perez Orban of Mishawaka Marian in lane 7.
And here we can actually see our scores for that last one. Horner in lane 2 for Penn getting 20.16. In lane 4, Petros for Penn got 20.42. In lane 6, Oliver for Penn getting 21.34. And then lane 3, Lombardo for Mishawaka. And then in lane 5, another Penn athlete. So it seems that Lombardo just barely didn't get that third place spot for us during that one.
Yeah, no podium placement for Mishawaka High School in that junior varsity event. Hoping that Anaya Johnson will get it done for them here. If not her, then Morgan Ford. As you can see, the lane placements there. Getting adjusted on those starting blocks. I don't know, Sean. I would imagine that they're helpful, but when I visualize myself on the starting block, I don't envision the start being as great as most track coaches would like it to be.
It does seem like an uncomfortable way to sit while you wait, but I mean, I can see taking off at an angle is always better because it allows you to push all your force forward instead of having to fight with your body weight against gravity to move. It's kind of like if you angled the front of a train and then sent it down a hill.
Yeah.
Penn getting a strong lead there.
Mullins of lane 2 taking off quickly. Morgan Ford just close behind. And then Nia Johnson, a little misstep on one of her later hurdles, but still finishes.
I wouldn't be surprised if that Penn athlete got a new PR during that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. That was pretty quick. And we've got pole vault here on your screen for you.
I've always been scared of pole vault.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I've seen some videos of the pole, stabbing people on the way down, you know?
Oh, wow.
It's pretty, looks like it hurts.
Well, we just so it's clear, we do not wish that upon whoever's pole vaulting here this evening, because that does not sound pleasant.
Yeah.
So coming up here shortly, we've got the girls' 100-meter dash, the JV. And believe it or not, we've got 6 sections of it. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of kids amongst the 3 schools. There's a lot of runners here this evening. And we've got those results here. Mullins, who you said probably got a PR there, she won by 2 seconds. So I'm sure she did with the 16.85. That's the winning score. Go ahead and name the top 3 for you, or the podium, if you will, each and every race. after each and every event. Morgan Ford of Mishawaka finishes with an 1821, and Mason of Mishawaka Marian finishes with an 1871. And that's Peyton Mason of Mishawaka Marian.
Some of your, pardon me, you already read those off.
Yeah, we got that going.
A
And
little tired. Some of those athletes getting ready over there for the, what was the next event?
next event, we've got the JV girls 100-meter dash.
JV girls 100-meter dash.
And buckle in, Sean, because we've got 6 different sections of it. So, should be fun.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. But there's a lot of runners here between these schools here, especially Penn. Penn High School has so many students, so many athletes.
Penn seems to have their own little, little like 25-yard block on the field.
Yeah, they're taking up a good 20 yards over there.
Getting those athletes ready for that takeoff.
Yep, getting ready to go here for our first section. Lane 2, we've got Zoe Coral. Lane 3, we've got Lexi Jordan. These are all Penn runners here. Allison Mead in lane 4, Chelsea Maturi in lane 5. In lane 6, we've got Grace Fisher, and in lane 7, we've got Jakaya Brown.
Lane 2 taking that.
Yeah, runner in lane 2, getting it done, Zoe Correll of Penn High School. That must be interesting, Sean. You know, I know it's JV, so it's not exactly the highest of ranks. But running against your teammates in an all-out sprint has to be an interesting experience.
Definitely fun to challenge each other, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, you're all trying to climb the ranks here, become a varsity runner, and, you know, why not face off against the girl you practice with every day?
Here's some of those scores for you. Your top 3 in lane 2, Correll for Penn with 14.01. In lane 6, Fisher for Penn with 14.52. And in lane 3, Jordan for Penn with 14.78.
There you go. There were some quick runners there. We're approaching our second section of the JV Girls 100.
Just got some of those scores ran up to us.
Yeah. We've got our dual meet scores. This is, I believe the term is double dual meet. I have to ask Coach Jay when he walks back into the press box, but
I believe that is correct.
it's
Double
quite,
dual meet.
yeah, and it's quite the complicated process, Sean. You've got because each school, if I'm understanding correctly, is playing or competing against the other 2 schools, but individually though.
Yeah.
But they're in the same place, and the scores go a certain way. So it's definitely interesting and a little confusing, but it's okay.
Taking off for the 100-meter dash junior varsity once more.
In lane 1, we've got Cammie Bauer. Lane 2, Addison Keene of Mishawaka. Cammie Bauer, by the way, a Penn athlete. From Penn, we've got Cassie Papp. Also from Penn, we've got Renaya Morris. Penn, Mame O'Beary. Also from Penn, Emily Monroy. Excuse me, Hirta. Also from Penn, we've got Caroline Hart, excuse me. And then from Mishawaka High School, we've got Micah Johnson. And the 100-meter dash is so quick that I couldn't even get those lane placements out for you fast enough. They're running so quick.
Seeing a Penn athlete out there doing their jump here.
Yeah, high jump is also one that's a little tough.
So here are some of your times. Your top three is in lane one, Bauer for Penn with 13.96. In lane five, Obiri for Penn with 14.25. And then in seven, Hart for all Penn as well with 14.48.
So in all Penn podium, they're in that second section of the girls 100 meter for JV.
I do think the 100-meter dashes are also pretty fun to see because they're very quick. They pop off pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're somebody who likes watching, sprinters like the great Usain Bolt and stuff like that, people enjoy watching people run fast.
Hmm.
And those who compete in the 100-meter dash are usually pretty fast runners because they have to go all out sprint. We move on to the third section. We've got Ariana Phillips of Penn, Claire Ames of Penn. We've got Hannah Luck of Penn, Celia Florkowski of Mishawaka Marian, Yolannis Fair of Penn, Kirsten Davidson of Penn, Esmer Hernandez of Penn, and Ariana Martinez of Penn.
As you can see, that event already completed. That heat, some would say. I believe it is heat, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Uh, Again, very quick, so very, very time management to get those names off to you, so you can know who's running on the field for each school.
Yeah, I think from the studying that I've done, which doesn't go farther than Olympic track and field, and commonly the broadcasters name who's in what lane either right before the race takes place or right as it's beginning. But there are so many names, sometimes it's hard to spit those out to you as quick as I'd like. Section 4 approaching. We've got Selin Bill Geiser of Penn, Elsa Segara of Penn, Haley Hacken of Penn. We've got Brianna Manda of Mishawaka High School, Sarah Farias of Penn, Gwen Robeloso of Penn, Olive Wingfield, also of Penn, and to round it out in lane 8, this is 1 through 8 once again, viewers, we got Esther Tenga of Penn.
Here we got some of those times for you. In lane 1, we got Phillips for Penn with 14.18. In lane 8 for Penn, we have Martinez with 14.33. In lane 5 for Penn, we have Fair with a time that was too quick to read. But very, very good athletes out there today from Penn.
Yeah, like I say with almost any sport, Sean, the more and more I watch these athletes perform, the more I start to accept the realization that I cannot do that.
Got our own Evan Lynn who does do track, and I believe he would agree that most people can't do what he does.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, especially from the mental standpoint. We had 2 Penn runners neck and neck. We'll get those results to you shortly. As you can see, a member of the Mishawaka Network, or I guess Mr. Rendell's radio TV broadcasting class, Harmony Lombardo, getting the spotlight there, showing off some of her dance moves.
I guess when you have a camera on, you might as well, hey.
Yeah, seize your moment. Section 4 awaits.
For that girls 100-meter dash junior varsity, for that heat 4, we have in lane 3 for Penn, Hacken with 14.11. In lane 6 for Penn, we have Reboloso with 14.33. And in lane 7 for Penn, we have Wingfield with 16.34. A 2-second gap from both of those, that first and second place on their third place teammate. Quite, quite the feat.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, those two in lane 3 and lane 6 were neck and neck. Those two teammates, and they were just obviously quite a bit ahead of everybody else.
Here we actually see a lot more Mishawaka athletes in this one.
And wow, moving fast there. I believe that is lane 6. She is moving quick. And quite the finish there in the fourth section of this JV girls 100 meter. That was Brianna Monda of Mishawaka. Nearly catching up to her, but I believe that was Gwen Rebeloso getting it done there. Actually, you know what?
We actually get those scores here. In lane 5 for Penn, we have Esquera with 14.17. In lane 8, Jobran for Mishawaka with 14.5. In lane 7, Robinson for Mishawaka with 14.97.
Yeah, I apologize, viewers. I got to get my head back in the game. I read to you the wrong lane placements there because I had just read section 4 just a few moments ago, and we saw that race take place. And that one, we had in lane 1, John A. Duke Smith of Mishawaka Marian, Olivia Bolger of Penn High School, Abigail Lichtenfels of Mishawaka High School, Anna Esquera of Penn, and 3 Mishawaka racers, Talijah Henderson, Nyla Robinson, and Sadine Jobran.
We're actually getting to that final heat for the 100-meter dash junior varsity. Who are some of those athletes on the last one?
Yeah, final section of the JV 100-meter dash here. Let's go ahead and read those lane placements for you correctly this time. We've got Heidi Diaz of Penn High School, Ariana Arthur of Penn High School, Jamaria Young of Mishawaka, Cameron Malone of Penn High School, Quinn Driscoll of Penn High School, Anaya Williams of Mishawaka, Melissa Moles of Mishawaka, and Layla Stewart of Mishawaka. And once again, that's lane 1 through 8. Every single lane is filled in this section of the JV Girls 100.
What event is after this one?
Finishing out, following this event, we're not finishing quite yet. Quite a bit left. We've got girls 100-meter dash, and this is varsity coming up after this section here. We're off to a hot start. Lane 2 and 3, neck and neck.
Ooh, they might have got passed up by that Penn athlete on the outside.
Yeah, I think the lane 4 runner there, that would have been Cameron Malone taking the lead there over Ariana Arthur and Jamaria Young of Mishawaka. Those two seem neck and neck, but I believe Malone may have gotten the win there.
You can see how interconnected these groups are because during that towards that end as they finish, you could see one of our athletes high-fiving a Penn athlete.
Yeah, Mishawaka and Penn, and as well as Marian, but Mishawaka and Penn especially, were so close in location. You and I being Mishawaka students, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
These two schools are so close in location that you play travel sports with them, and you just see them so often that you become close.
Here are those scores for the Heat 6 of girls 100-meter dash varsity. In lane 5, we got Driscoll for Penn with 13.91. In lane 3 for Mishawaka, we have Young with 13.92. In lane 2, we have Arthur for Penn with 13.98. As they get lined up for the 100-meter dash of Varsity, we get to sit here and think about how tomorrow's going to be. A lot of rain in the morning. I looked at my weather app. It said it'd start raining pretty heavily at about 7 a.m., which is a lot of our students' commute. So make sure you drive safe to and from school tomorrow. It will be most likely be a little slick out there.
Yeah, you know what, Sean? I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. If you're a student and you're watching this broadcast right now, there is a possibility that school may be delayed or canceled because the weather is supposed to be somewhat similar to the weather we had Sunday evening. The horrible thunderstorm with strong, damaging winds around the area. So we'll see what goes on. But so again, not to get anybody's hopes up, but I believe it'd be a possibility.
And with those damaging winds, if we ever get the chance to, over there's 2 different worker trucks fixing the electric poles around here still, and we do have a lot of trees down in the area. And there's even a house not even a block or 2 away that is pretty much like half destroyed from a tree falling on it. Pretty sad to see.
Not what you want. The first of 2 sections of the girls' varsity 100-meter dash. We had Lauren Chapman in lane 2. In lane 3, Lucy Weston of Mishawaka Marian, Leah Dainty of Mishawaka Marian, Gabriella Henderson of Mishawaka Marian, and Emma Hitzelman, of Penn High School. And we've got those results there, Sean.
On lane 6, Hetzelman for Penn got first place with 13.63, and in lane 4 we got Dainty for Mishawaka Marian with 14.47, and in lane 3 Weston for Mishawaka Marian 15.3.
Chapman and Henderson did not race in that one. And we move on to the second and final section of the girls' varsity 100-meter. In lane 1, Leah Thomas of Mishawaka. In lane 2, Sapphira Lewis of Mishawaka. Tiara Lane of Mishawaka Marian. Tanasia Summers of Mishawaka. Sophia Ugwok of Penn High School. Zoya Turk of Penn High School. Maya Hiller of Mishawaka High School. And Brianna Briscoe of Penn High School. For those of you that are family members, friends, or just people who happen to know who these people are, the names I'm reading right now, I apologize if I butcher any of them. It's one of the several faults of being an announcer. You're not always aware of whose names are spelled or pronounced a certain way. Sean, I know you've had to deal with that as of late, as you've announced a few events.
Yeah. It's weird. I have a pretty decent time saying them, but some of them I do get a lot confused, especially the ones that come from, like, European descent.
Yeah.
Those ones get me a little bit.
It happens, man. Some people have their names spelled a certain way, and you want to get it right, and sometimes you just don't. Once again, this second and final section of the girls' varsity 100-meter will be taking place here shortly. We got 4 Mishawaka High School runners, 1 Mishawaka Marian, and 3 Mishawaka Penn. Runners are set. Shot is fired, and they're off. Leah Thomas, somebody who's pretty widely known in athletics here. Tanasia Summers also neck and neck with the Penn racer here. Lunching towards the finish line, and I believe that Penn runner so there close. Got it. Yeah, I think that was Sophia Ugwok getting it done there for Penn High School, but we'll go ahead and check the results.
I know that Coach Cove did speak of Tanija Summers with a lot of regard, saying that she was I believe he said was the best in the dashes and stuff.
Yeah, I believe she's probably their best sprinter. Tanaja Summer is somebody who is also came in girls basketball player, and she was one of their leading scorers, one of the members of the starting five throughout most of the season. So she's quite the athlete. And yeah, it's going to go ahead and wrap up the girls varsity 100 meter. We're going to get those results for you shortly. And following that, we'll have the girls varsity 1600. And in case you're unaware, viewers, that is 1 mile. So 4 laps around this track here being shown before you. And you'll see some pretty remarkable times as well.
For your 100-meter dash varsity heat 2, we have in lane 5, we have Ugwoke for Penn with 13.08. In lane 4, Tanija Summers for Mishawaka. And in lane 5, we have Turk for Penn with 13.73. Summers giving that 13.12, which is a very quick 100-meter dash.
Yeah, .04 was the difference in that one. And now we're going to go ahead and list off who is where. We've got Shreya Ney of Penn High School, Corinne Flick of Mishawaka High School, Ariana Bolanang of Penn High School, Lila Van Hovelen of Penn High School, Ellie Brzezinski of Mishawaka, Samantha Pensalo of Penn High School, Nicole Lear of Mishawaka High School, Grace Zentz of Mishawaka Marian, Luna Liu of Penn High School, Marissa Manbeck of Penn High School, Sienna Memolenti of Penn High School, Kelsey Meyer of Penn High School, Alexis Lubick of Penn High School, Lena Youngkin of Mishawaka High School, and the following are just Penn runners: Malia Reynolds, Helia, Liu, Linnea McDaniel, Marshall Rodriguez, Abigail Gold, Amber Lewis, Dorothea Pogue, and Ella Daddario. I apologize once again. I'll just say just to cover over all the events we have remaining, Sean. I apologize if I butchered any names. As you can see, we've got 23 runners there.
23. I was seeing that, and I was like, is something wrong? I was like, there's a lot of people to run a 1600.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot of grouping here during the during these few laps.
Yeah, and you can see there's a lot of Kingsmen there in that grouping. They just have so many students, so many athletes in turn. And they're getting ready to go. There's the shot, and we are off. 1,600 meters, one of the longer events, Sean. So that gives us a little bit more breathing room and time to talk about some things. We know both of those Mishawaka runners, Sean. Both of them are widely known for their academics and their running. Corinne Flick is also a member of the Mishawaka Network, and you had the pleasure of calling the boys' track meet last week with her, right?
Yeah, it was actually quite entertaining. She did very well for the first time she's ever been on air for a sports live event. She really helped with all her knowledge in the long events, because she runs, as you can see, she runs the long events for our high school. But yeah, it was very enjoyable. She did very well. Probably next year you'll probably hear her voice a few more times on these live events. At least I hope, because she did very, very well.
Yeah, hopefully she's able to call a few more of these boys' track meets, as she'll be graduating in May, or I guess it'll be in June. Sorry, the first week of June, along with you, Sean.
Oh, I didn't know she was a senior.
Yeah, Corinne Flick, senior runner, valedictorian as well. And man, these 1,600 meters. We were talking earlier about how watching these events make us more and more, aware that we probably couldn't do it, at least not as well as these runners do it anyway. Because this mile is just, especially in the cold, it just doesn't look very fun to me.
Yeah, it's like going for a run in the middle of December. It's low key freezing out there.
Yeah, it's bad.
Even open that door is a little too much for me.
Yeah, and the track meets for us, Sean, are a little bit more complicated and a little bit more hectic at times. We got to turn off our headsets and turn them back on when we're trying to go get results or scores or have to run something down to Mr. Endo or get something from him. So it gets a little hectic, but it is pretty fun. It's just a little bit worse in the cold, I will say.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember who I talked to today, but I was like, "Are you excited?" No. Today, I asked Polanski, who runs in our boys' track meets. I was like, "Are you happy that tomorrow is canceled due to weather?" And he was like, "Yes." He was like, "I was not looking forward to running in the cold tomorrow."
Yeah, Braden Plonsky, one of the better sprinters here for the Mishawaka boys team. I'm sure the entire boys team was pretty relieved that there was a cancellation for tomorrow's meet.
I'm actually kind of happy there's a cancellation, even if it means less hours.
Yeah, I was just a little bit more worried about the weather. You don't want guys running in, bad weather. And man, every time I watch these runners run the long miles, Sean, it makes me feel bad because I'm like, man, I really would not want to be out there right now.
Especially because I believe a few of these runners still have other events to run today.
Yeah, right. And it's kind of wild how some of them are just like, it's like automatic for them. Like they don't even worry about it. They just get it done. Got a Penn runner. She's got a lead, I would say around 30 to 40 meters ahead right now. She's got that kind of lead. Those are one of the people that I'm like, man, I mean, they really are just automatic with it. They know how to go about managing their speed in each lap and how to get the time they want to get. And it's so important to be skilled in that, Sean, because as I've heard from every track coach I've ever been around, it takes sometimes years to shave off just a few seconds in your PR time.
Yeah, I I ran track when I was in like elementary school, and even that caused me some physical pain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, me too. I mean, those track meets were tough. I primarily threw for the reason that I didn't enjoy running. I still don't. Cardio is obviously a big part of working out, so that's the part I kind of try to get over with as soon as I can.
Seeing that Penn athlete passing up a few of her teammates as she gets through and finishes her final lap.
Yeah, so I believe safe to say that she's got the win there on that one.
Another Penn athlete coming in second and another in third.
Corinne Flick finishing off there. I believe that's a 5th place finish for her. We'll have to wait and see. Start to come in quickly here.
Some of those few athletes still running around.
Just a quick announcement during the race. If you are not an athlete or a coach, you should not be in the infield or on the track. If you are not an athlete or a coach, please move to the stands.
Both Mishawaka runners and Flick and Berteski have completed their run. believe we just got two final runners here in this girls varsity 600 meter. And they're both Penn runners. They're finishing up here now. I believe it's their final lap.
Even if they're a little bit far behind, they're still running very well.
Faster than I could.
Can even see on their legs some of that redness from how cold it is out there.
Right. It's not something I think you want to experience on a run. A run is tough enough, but in the cold, not the best. Penn high jumper getting it done there. We've got Penn pole vault. There you go, getting it done on the pole vault. That's what we like to see, and that's going to complete the 1,600 run there for
Final call.
varsity runners here competing today.
First call.
And next up, we've got the 4x100 meter relay varsity. So we got coming up. Girls varsity runners will be participating in the 4x1 here shortly.
Hannah Raw and Ashley Spence in 2013.
Waiting for those scores to update here so we can show you guys.
Yeah, we'll get that here for you shortly. Our boss, Mr. Matt Randall, at work there, busy at work, getting those times in the system there for us. And you can see a lot around us showing those runners. They've got a lot of blankets on them there, making sure to keep those covers handy.
Even some non-athletes have some blankets around here.
I'll be doing the same thing. Going to watch a loved one run, yeah, I'll go watch you, but I have to be warm.
Not even warm. I'm bringing a whole sauna with me.
Yeah, you might have to. It gets cold.
I'm tan in negative 20-degree weather.
This is another one where you've got a lot of runners here. We've got all 8 lanes filled up. And then while we're waiting for those results, we'll go ahead and read those runners' names to you. In Penn, their affiliation is D. Penn D is what we'll refer to them as. In lane 1, their first runner in the first heat, they've got Mam Orbury. And then in the second, they've got Ariana Arthur. Next up, Claire Ames. And then Grace Fisher to wrap up that relay team. For Mishawaka B, got first Micah Johnson, then Abigail Lichtenfels, then Cammie Bland, and then Jamie Gullius.
Some results from the girls 100 meter.
We're awaiting those results still. And once we go ahead and get those results, Sean, just go ahead and interrupt me, and then we'll continue on with what we got. Mishawaka Marian, first off, this is Mishawaka Marian A. Leah Dainty, then Gabriella Henderson. Jonay Smith Duke, and then Tierra Lane. And then they've got, this is the 6-person relay team. They've got Lucy Weston, and then Celia Florkowski. Penn A, they've got Sophia Ugwok is that who they've got first. Then Emma Heitzelman. Then Brianna Briscoe, and then Zoya Turk to finish off that Penn A relay team. Then for Mishawaka A, they've got Safaria Lewis, Maya Hiller, Jamaria Young, and then Leah Thomas to round out Mishawaka A's relay team. For Penn C, they've got first Ariana Martinez, then Jakaya Brown, then Gwen Robuloso, and then Hallie Hacken. For Penn B, the Penn B relay team, they've got Cammie Bauer, Quinn Driscoll, Lauren Chapman, and Cameron Malone. Then to round it out in lane 8, Mishawaka C, we've got Nyla Robinson, Layla Stewart, Melissa Moles, and Sadine Joe Brown.
If we don't get those updates to you right now when they come up in the paper, I will read them for y'all. But it seems like we aren't going to get those updates right now, so so we're going to move on to the 4x100.
Yeah, so we'll get the 1600 meter run results to you shortly, as Sean said. We're going to get started here with the 4x1. Runners getting set, awaiting the shot. And there it is. They're off. We've talked so many times, Sean, about how important the relays are, and this one's interesting because they run that 1 meter, then they hand it off. They're all completely, like, running a complete lap. I mean, they're running a lap essentially together, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a lot of teamwork in this section. Yeah, Thursday we saw a handoff almost fail on these turns here, so let's see if we can catch any happen today.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully not for the teams and runners' sake. But we'll see.
Some clean handoffs. Penn in first place with Mishawaka right behind her. Oh, but Ty with another Penn, who I think will take that second place for Mishawaka.
Wow, so moving fast. Moving very fast. Mishawaka runners getting it done there. As well as Penn and the one Mishawaka Marian team.
400 meter dash, second call, 300 meter hurdles, first call, 800 meter run.
And next up, Sean, we've got our 11th event of the day, the girls 400 meter. It's the varsity event. We'll have 2 sections of those. And the 400, if you're not aware, to put it in simpler terms, it's 1 lap around the track you're seeing right now. While we're waiting for them to get set, go ahead and get those results.
In the 4x100 meter relay in lane 4, Penn A with 51.63. In lane 7, Penn B with 52.42. And then for Mishawaka A, we have in lane 5 for third, we have 52.46.
A 15 would be pretty impressive in that event, Sean. I don't know if we've ever seen that before.
I don't think anyone could ever see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be like flash level quick.
Yeah, that'd be quick.
I'm sure in a straight line, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty tough.
400 meters in 15 seconds?
Yeah,
That's
a whole lap.
a lot.
Yeah. If I can get, honestly, 10 times that, I'm pretty satisfied, to be honest with you. So again, we're getting shaped up for the first section of the girls' varsity 400 meter dash. In lane 3, we've got Catherine Rivas of Mishawaka Marian, Marissa Evans of Mishawaka Marian, Maya Burks of Penn High School, and Addison Keene of Mishawaka High School.
You hate to have the Indiana weather rolling in for spring, the rain, but also the freezing temperatures of the Indiana winter. Not a very good mix in these early meets. Definitely not.
Yeah, not at all. You get to those early spring months, and, the weather can be so unpredictable. Sometimes
Downright scary.
Right. Sometimes it's positive. Sometimes you get your rare, but I guess it feels casual when you get those 70-degree days and stuff like that. The nice evenings. sun setting late, and then you get the kind of like out of nowhere surprising 39-degree high, gray snowing days, and it's just not what you
I'm
want.
not even gonna lie. I think we had like a 60-degree day one day, and then the next day it snowed like an inch. It's insane.
Yeah.
I literally I've had multiple different like Christmas days where it was barbecue weather,
Yeah, right,
and like 80 degrees where I was like riding my bike around sweating in South Bend.
right.
Like it's scary how unpredictable Mother Nature is up here in Indiana.
Yeah, the Midwest springs are, it's something like nothing else. I mean, not much you can compare to it. We're getting started with the girls' varsity 400 meter here. Addison Keene of Mishawaka here holding second place so far. The only Mishawaka runner in this event, in this section of the 400 meter.
Burke's keeping that solid lead. Even gapping, perhaps.
Yeah, Eddie Keene trying to get it done. Some of these Penn runners, I mean, they're athletes who, they'll run track just to stay in shape. And then there are those who run track because they want to win events and they take it seriously.
I know a good handful of our varsity football players do track just to keep in shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I'd probably be doing the same thing. And it looks like Burks is coming down the home stretch, trying to finish here. And she will finish first in the event. The Penn runner and Eddie Keene will go ahead and finish second, followed by the two Marian runners. And we'll get those results to you shortly. So I don't know about you, but if somebody walked up to me, a coach, even if I was, very close with him or her, and said, "You've got to go ahead and run a lap in the cold,"
I don't think I'm doing it.
I
Even
think-
if it was Coach Lou.
kindest person in the world, I would probably say no immediately, like lightning fast. I would say nope, not doing that. But these athletes that go out there and do it willingly, I mean, you have to admire them because it's quite the remarkable accomplishment to be able to go and do that. Shows a lot of mental strength, a lot of mental focus, and I mean, obviously, it gets you a long way. They're able to stay in shape, but it doesn't make it any easier for them.
No, I'm sure it doesn't keep it easy for them. Seems like we're lining up for the next event, the girls 400 meter dash varsity. Some of our athletes out there.
Yeah, this is the second and final section of this event. Go ahead and read those names out for you. Camila Wasowski of Mishawaka Marian in lane 2. In lane 3, Ella N. of Penn High School. In lane 4, Janine Babinda of Penn High School. In lane 5, Aubrey Morgan. In lane 6, Allie Van Neville. That's the runner slash actor slash singer who performed that wonderful rendition of the national anthem for you just moments ago. And in lane 7, Sydney Kuistra of Mishawaka Marian.
I see why you're keeping it last initial on the one Penn athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that to a certain point, butchering a name is okay, but I don't really want to. I don't want to embarrass myself or that person too much.
Mm.
Especially that person. I know from experience, having your name mispronounced is not the best feeling.
You must be used to it because I keep calling you Dylan.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I just got too many faces to names.
Yeah, right.
Did you know I don't know if this is actually true, but I heard a study that found out that 100 people having 100 people associated to you is the ideal amount, because after that you start to forget certain people and certain characteristics.
I did not know that. Yeah, I mean that sounds about right though.
I can't even handle 50.
Yeah, it's tough to remember names. Penn runner finishing strong. Believe the top three is just all Penn runners, followed by Allie Van Neville of Mishawaka. And I believe that's the last runner finishing out there. That's a Mishawaka Marian runner ending that girls varsity 400-meter dash for us.
What's the next event we have?
Next up, Sean, we've got the JV girls 300-meter hurdle coming up.
Call for the 200-meter dash. Mishawaka track athletes please put the hurdles on the track and set them at their lowest height. Place them on the weight marks, please. The Mishawaka school record in the 300 hurdles is 45 seconds. 0.99 set by Ashley.
With the second section of the girls 400-meter varsity finishing up, go ahead and introduce to you the girls junior varsity 300-meter hurdle. In lane 2, we'll have Veronica Horner of Penn High School. In lane 3, we'll have Victoria Gordieva. In lane 4, we'll have Mishawaka's Harmony Lombardo. In lane 5, we'll have Lauren P. In lane 6, we'll have Savannah Oliver. And in lane 7, we'll have Tiara Lane of Mishawaka Marian.
We actually got some of the scores for the last event in the Heat 2. We got in lane 4, Mibana for Penn with 1 minute, 4 seconds, 0.75. In lane 3, I don't know her first name, so I'm just going to say N. We have pardon me, with a time of 1 minute and 6 seconds, 0.21. And then in lane 5 for third place for Penn, Morgan, with 1 minute, 7 seconds, and 0.35. So, pretty good.
You had to excuse us, viewers. This is just Sean's second time calling a varsity track meet, and this is somewhere around my fifth doing this. We do Cayman Classic and Princess Relay, and that's about it. But you know what? We decided this year we're going to try to broadcast as many track meets as we possibly can. And Sean and myself and Corinne Flick and the rest of us, we're getting the hang of this thing here.
I'm also running the TriCaster as well.
Yeah, so Sean's not only trying to do commentary here for you all, but he's also running the TriCaster, which takes care of the camera switching for you as well as the results. Thank you. And he's handing out the paper results, so he's got quite the busy job.
It's good for my exercise, though.
Yeah.
Gets me up and moving. If I wasn't working, I'd probably just be sitting at home, bored.
Yeah, you know what? Keeping busy is never the worst thing. Nothing at all wrong with keeping busy. And that's one of the big reasons why we have so many track athletes. They're trying to do something to keep busy, you know?
Oh, it seems like we actually do have the girls 1,600-meter run varsity up on your screen now.
Yeah, you can go ahead and check those out. A lot of results there. Again, 23 runners. And the top 3, all Penn runners there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like first place, Nay. Second place, Van Hovlen. And third place, Ballenang.
Very good times on that 1,600-meter run as well.
Yeah, 100%.
5 minutes and 30 is a very hard time to beat for a mile.
Yeah, no doubt. Next up, like we said, we've got the girls JV 300-meter hurdle. And this is probably the event that I would fear the most, as you've got so many sets of hurdles that you got to get through, plus the running, and then you've got to finish strong. It's a tough event.
Yeah, and you start from the opposite side of the field from us.
Right. 300 meters of hurdles. Yeah, that's tough.
You know, like the landing has to sting because of the coldness out there.
Right. So basically, you're just kind of trucking through and trying your best. And I believe the runners are taking their marks here shortly. And then we'll have the start of this event. These JV girls getting quite the experience here. Maybe not one that they enjoy too much, but it will help them out in the long run, no pun intended, when it comes to the point where they are now in the JV heat, but now in the varsity, which for them hopefully is, if not in the next couple of weeks, next year or the following.
Speaking of next years to come, I'm sad that this is my final year here.
Yeah, Sean, we were able to do a kind of cool senior night thing for you during basketball season. As this coming up, we'll have your final Mishawaka Network event as a student.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the start of this JV girls 300-meter hurdle. They're getting started here.
I will be sad that I will never I won't return here for a football game, at least not on the hour. I
Right.
definitely will show up for a few of the events next year out of my own pocket.
Got to, yeah.
Gotta enjoy the little things. Marian having a great lead on that Penn athlete there.
Yeah, that's Tiara Lane showing off her abilities here, weaving through those hurdles like it's nothing. Finishing her 300 meters here, that final hurdle. Nearly her only error of the entire event.
Amazing run out of the athletes just then.
Yeah, one of the more difficult events, as we mentioned a few times. So the fact that they were able to get that done the way that they did, that was quite the heat, especially considering these are JV athletes here.
In second place was Penn with a time of 52.42, the team of Bauer, Driscoll, Chapman, and Malone. And in first place with Penn with a time of 51.63, the team of Ugwokwe, Heintzelman, Briscoe, and Kirk.
You know it's gotta suck to sit out there for the entire event.
Yeah, I'd be 5 layers, couple blankets, just, trying to prepare myself mentally for my events coming up, and then get prepared to get on that bus and go home. These are one of the situations when you're in the track meet and it's just so cold or the weather is so extreme. And I've heard from athletes that they're just ready to go home. They want to get their events done. Maybe they'll get a PR, but not super likely considering the circumstances, and then they're ready to go home.
Go home and eat some fast food or whatever they got in the kitchen.
Yeah, man, it's usually how it goes.
I know Evan Lynn probably eats a Pop-Tart before leaving.
Oh, yeah, Evan Lynn, big Pop-Tart guy. If any of you are Mishawaka students that, see Evan Lynn in the hallway or you know who he is, if you like the work that Evan does, taking pictures, doing broadcasts with myself or Mr. Rendell, doing whatever, or you know what, running track. If you want to show some love to Evan Lynn, go ahead and throw a Pop-Tart his way. He'll be very happy about that.
He's gonna be so confused when he starts getting Pop-Tarts. Hey, Evan, Here.
He'll be
I
happy
don't
though.
even know you.
He'll be happy though. He loves those Pop-Tarts, man.
He was telling me earlier today that he had a box of strawberry.
Yeah, I mean it's cool that he loves Pop-Tarts, but sometimes I'll talk to him. I'll be like, man, this might be a sickness that you have, because it's so he loves Pop-Tarts a lot.
And he still runs very well in track.
Yeah, he's in good shape. And we're off the varsity heat of the girls' 300-meter hurdle. In that one, we've got Lillian Orban Perez of Mishawaka Marian. Of Penn High School, we've got Lillian Mullins. Of Mishawaka High School, we've got Anaya Johnson. Penn High School, we've got Ella Bailey. Again, this is lane 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lane 5, we've got Morgan Ford of Mishawaka High School. Lane 6, we've got Victoria Sanchez of Penn High School. And in lane 7, rounding it out, we've got Peyton Mason of Mishawaka Marian.
Speaking of roundabout, they're rounding that turn into the final stretch. Penn having a great lead here.
Believe that is lane 4, Ella Bailey finishing first for Penn High School there. Man, that's such a tough event. The 300-meter hurdle.
What event do we have after this one?
Next up, Sean, you've got the girls varsity, junior varsity 800-meter run. To put in simpler terms, that will be the 2-lap event here. Again, this is JV.
Half a mile
Yeah, half a mile.
for Patriot terms.
And Coach Jay providing the final call for that event here. They'll be lining up, taking their marks shortly.
Actually, I've grown to love these track events, even though as a cameraman, I kind of hated them because they would make my arm go sore after
Oh, yeah,
following that 3,200.
I bet. I have been pretty lucky to get the opportunities I've gotten from Mr. Reynolds. Majority of them being just calling games or being on the sideline or something like that. With track, usually I'm on the field interviewing players after they win an event, or somebody who's an athlete who decided to show up to the track meet and they've accomplished something pretty remarkable throughout the school or something like that. So I don't share the same pain that you share with our other cameramen and women, Sean. And I'm very grateful for that because I know it's tough.
Especially some of those late nights here at the stadium during those football games.
Oh, yeah.
I know I had a pretty bad one last year. I was wearing shorts too, and it was like 40, 30 degrees. I was like, ugh.
Man, I bet you were glad to get home after that.
Oh, I was so happy. I literally texted my dad, Dad, meet me halfway. I need some shorts and a sweatshirt. He's like, okay.
Man, those football games are interesting. I mean, interesting. I got to turn that word into fun because I really, really enjoy them. I've had the opportunity this past year with Evan Lynn to call them, which is pretty cool, and also it's the Friday, which is pretty great.
I sadly will have never called a football game, but probably for the better.
Hey, you know what? Maybe you can come back and get the job done.
Hey, maybe.
Get a little cameo in as an alumni.
Get a little Sugar Sean cameo.
For our 14th event of the evening, we've got the girls 800-meter run, junior varsity. And we got quite a few runners here ready to go. Mishawaka's Sylvia Shield and Mishawaka's Mackenzie Holt, who was listed, but I don't believe she's currently in attendance. Penn's Abigail Gold. Penn's Caitlin Richards. Penn High School's Harley Kent. Mishawaka High School's Sajude Joe Brown. Penn High School's Lane Sierra. Penn High School's Maddox McLean. Mishawaka High School's Summer Steffi. Mishawaka High School's Terry Naragon. Penn High School's Lanaya McDaniel. Of Penn, Rebecca Collar. Also of Penn, Dorothea Pogue. Also at Penn High School, Santa Memolenti. And rounding it out, our 15th runner of the event, Mishawaka Marian's Kimberly Z. So, yeah, 15 runners in this one. Like you said, Sean, this is a half a mile. All the runners, they've got their cold gear on. They're ready to go. We got 4 Mishawaka runners in this event. Runners getting set up. Honestly, Sean, I gotta say, those runners who are willing to run in the regular uniform with no jacket, no sleeves, none of that. Props to you guys, man. I would not be strong enough to do that. I've got to be like some of these girls out here wearing the headbands or the hats or the gloves and the sleeves as well. The jacket, got to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the benefit is in wearing shorts, but arguably, I guess, probably just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe flexibility or, normal feel or something like that, but I don't know if I could do it.
Seems like we're about to get started here. Never mind, we're already started.
Yeah, and they're off here. 2 laps is all they've got to do. I say all when to me it would be a lot. It would feel like a lot at least. And like we talked about pre-broadcast, or I guess during the intro, Sean, the way that runners approach this event can be either one way or another. Some like to start off fast and then kind of like ease their way in to the finish line on that second 400 meters rather. And then others, the complete opposite. They want to save their energy and then storm by everybody else in that final lap. Sean, which approach do you think you would take?
If there was a way for me to take an approach, I think I'd probably take it slow.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Penn starts off pretty quickly pretty quick in these events. I mean, they already got a pretty decent lead on most of the other athletes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably take the long way, and I'd probably be bundled up.
Yeah, I think I would go that route of, starting off slow, like you said, and then finishing strong.
Going around for their final lap. Let's see if some of these athletes pick up the pace.
Yeah, let's see it.
That Penn athlete's been holding the first spot the entire time, pretty much.
Yeah, she's had that first place status for the entire race from the start to now.
One of her teammates seems to be catching up with her, though. Getting close to that passing.
We talk so much on these broadcasts, Sean, about like how mental focus means so much. I mean, when you're running a lap or you're running a mile, or you're running a 2 mile or half mile, whatever it is, making sure that you stay mentally locked in and ready to go and don't lose your edge and stuff like that. I have to imagine that's so difficult because you're really thinking about most of the time how tired you are when you had to
Mhm.
be thinking about how am I going to win this thing.
Yeah, and you're also thinking about how long do I have until I can go home?
Right, yeah.
How long do I have to stay?
Or you're thinking, man, this is it's really cold or it's really hot or I really want a new PR or something like that. And you just got to, stay locked in, stay present. And we've got some runners finishing up here. Just one, oh, excuse me, not one. There's just about four more runners finishing this thing out. Once again, this is the girls' JV 800-meter run. And up next, Sean will have the girls' varsity 800-meter run.
We got to run that one.
That one we've got Tori Bercheski of Mishawaka High School, Sarah Hungerman of Penn High School, Nicole Lear of Mishawaka High School, Emily G of Penn High School, Cameron Nichols of Penn High School, Maya Burks of Penn, Camila Wasowski of Mishawaka Marian, Brady Desmarius of Mishawaka Marian, and Maral Farin of Mishawaka High School. That one's got 10 runners as opposed to this junior varsity heats 15 runners.
Mm-hmm. Anything eventful happened to you on that fateful Sunday?
I mean, not really. I was driving home with my sister. I ended up getting home probably about 90 seconds before the storm really hit, those strong winds. So glad I didn't catch any extra red lights or anything like that. Was able to get inside and, the power was out for around 5 to 6 hours. And then eventually it just popped back on about 10 o'clock at night. And we're very happy that it popped back on.
We live similarly close to each other. My power went on about 9-ish, so yeah. Nothing really eventful. I mean, the only thing that really happened was a branch fell off like the next day from my tree. Luckily enough.
Yeah.
My neighbors just behind me and across the alleyway, their entire tree fell over, I believe, 7 months ago during another big storm.
Oh wow.
And it was like a tornado actually like flew through.
Wow.
And yeah. And then my neighbors, all like during that, also got like a hole in their roof because of it. Yeah, it was a lot of damage happened.
Yeah, man. As you mentioned a few moments ago, towards the beginning of the broadcast, just down the street on Lincoln Way, you've got a tree, literally making itself comfortable on someone's roof. I mean, it's the damage from just that storm there a few days ago on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty plentiful.
Yeah. You hate to see it, really. You hate to see, damage occur because of storm weather.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to stop it. I mean, even by, I believe, between 10th and 9th Street in an alleyway, a whole, like, electric pole is, like, snapped in half and hanging by a thread.
Yeah. It's just not what you want to see
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons. One, it disrupts our way of life. Especially from the electronic standpoint, technology-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You got your internet going, you got your power going, but just from a survival standpoint, we don't want anybody getting hurt because of any damages. There's only so much you can do when it comes to Mother Nature. So if tomorrow ends up being the same or similar or whatever, make sure to all you viewers that you remain as safe as possible, seek shelter, when you see those strong winds approaching. And now these racers, or I guess rather than that, runners, been watching too many Cars movies with my sister lately. These runners are trying to approach the finish line as soon as possible here. And looks like we've got a Mishawaka runner over there in first place. Tori Bucheski leading the way right now.
Results fourth place, Addison Hummel from Penn, 91.
And you know what? Tori Bucheski is probably one of the better runners on the Mishawaka squad. I believe she's varsity in every event that she runs in. And her sister, Ellie Bucheski, is also quite the runner as well. So those two, the sister duo, Ellie, a senior, and Tori, a sophomore, helping lead the way for the Cayman squad.
Over Marian, 58-20.
My nose is freezing from the little cracked window we got.
Bucheski's going to wrap up her first lap, continue on to the final 400 meters.
While we got a little bit of time, I might as well say it again. I've said it every stream I've been on so far. Here at the Mishawaka Network, we do live stream in the morning your announcements. So if you want to know where stuff is happening, just check out the Mishawaka Network at about, I believe, what is it, 9:45 that we go live?
9:45. And if your first time tuning in is going to be tomorrow or sometimes this week, you just missed me. I actually was able to cover the daily announcements both today and yesterday. So you know what? And make sure to check it out. We do a pretty good job, I would say. Obviously, I am biased, but I think our crew, we do a phenomenal job. Anybody that's able to read those daily announcements for you, they always do a wonderful job. I believe, I think his name is Grant Messinger, will be reading those for the live stream tomorrow morning. So go ahead and check that out, like Sean said, 9:45. And back to track, Tori Bucheski is going to go ahead and get that first place status solidified.
Another Mishawaka athlete getting that second place for us.
Nicole Lear getting it done. And Tori Bucheski really got that win by quite the amount. She was around 40 meters, I would say, ahead. 40, 50 meters. And we've just got a few runners left, finishing strong here. And that's going to do it. That will wrap up the girls' 800-meter varsity run. And we'll move on to the girls' 200-meter dash JV event. And we'll have 6 sections of the JV girls' 200-meter. Starting off in the first section, we'll have from Penn High School, Elsa Rizagara. And then she'll be in lane 3, And in lane 4, we'll have Casey Papp of Penn High School. And in lane 5, we'll have Micah Johnson of Mishawaka High School. Man, Sean, it's really getting cold.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to head boys track coach Kyle Shaw, about his feelings on the girls track meet continuing and tonight, despite the weather and how cold it is. And I was like, hey, would you have called this meet if it was the boys? And he was like, 100%. We would be at home right now. But Coach Cove, he's somebody who's been coaching track and cross country for many, many years. And he's like, you know what? I talked to him earlier today. He's like, you know what? It's a good learning experience for these girls. I know they're going to be cold. But you know what? When it's hot outside and we're getting into those May meets, they'll feel they'll feel all the more better about running that day. And I guess, you know what? That's fair. I mean, I would definitely rather run in 80 degrees than 40.
Yeah, it definitely gets their mindset on the whole adapt to survive thing.
Yeah.
Or at least for the athletic side of it.
Sean, I think we're going to have a few minutes to ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and head to our first ad break of the evening. We'll be back in around 30 to 60 seconds here on the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a coach. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back, viewers. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're bringing it to you just halfway through this JV 200 meter. Running quickly and running through. And that's going to end our first section of the JV girls 200 meter. Final runner crosses the finish line, and we'll move on to section 2. In section 2, we will have Haley Hacken of Penn High School. This is all Penn runners, by the way, in lane 1. In lane 2, we'll have Cammie Bauer. In lane 3, Yolandis Fair. In lane 4, Caroline Hart. In lane 5, Jakaya Brown. In lane 6, Zoe Coral. In lane 7, Hannah Luck.
You know, as it get later, I feel like I should have brought my second hoodie.
Yeah. It gets cold. Even if we're just in the press box, you know, with those windows cracked open, start to feel
Sadly,
it.
don't get a heater in here, which seems weird. Oh, that's wrong. Sorry, I flipped the wrong switch in here, turned all the lights on.
I know there's air conditioning because we had it during
Yeah.
football season. But yeah, I don't think maybe there's not a heating system in here. But you know what? We'll make do. We'll be okay.
Make do, yeah.
Section 2 of the girls JV 200 meter. Girls are getting ready to go.
Definitely could make do with like 2 space heaters or something.
Oh yeah, that would definitely we would definitely be okay with 2 space heaters. You, myself, and Coach Jay's. It's all it needs to help, and I think it would do a pretty good job. But we've got cords to run through windows and things like that to make sure we've got efficient audio for you and things. So unfortunately, it's not a possibility for us as of right now. But you know what? Maybe one day.
I mean, this press box did get a revamp as of recently, along with our field.
Yeah, during the summer they spent some time and made some, you know, renovations and stuff like that. Now we're back here, and we've had the whole school year with a nice, polished,
Pristine.
press box. So I can't remember. I believe it was going into this school year. Maybe it was the prior school year. Maybe it was the 23-24 athletic season, but I don't know. Pretty recently. We're going to get started with Section 2 of the girls' JV 200. Again, this is all Penn runners. So they're all facing off against their teammate. Running fast in lane 2. That's Cammie Bauer trying to finish strong.
She'll get that first place.
I wonder what it must feel like, Sean, to win a track event here. I mean, I've never run in a track meet. I've thrown and stuff like that, and I know it's fun getting first in that, but I never run. It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure you feel very happy with yourself. Kind of like hitting like a touchdown in football. Just very happy and excited to see it.
Once again, I'm not sure. I believe the event is wrapped up, but if you were able to catch the annual MHS Spring Choir Concert on the Mishawaka Network, thank you very much for making your way over to the girls' track meet here this evening. Track meet between Mishawaka Marian, Mishawaka High School, and Penn High School. And you know what? If you haven't gotten the opportunity to go watch the spring choir concert, why don't you go check it out? We've got quite the fine arts program, and they do quite the job.
You could even stay here until the end of your night and then tune it on for a little bit of music to go to sleep to, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? That doesn't sound too bad.
Especially because I know our choir is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Fairly good, I would say.
Very, very good fine arts program we have here at Mishawaka.
Seems like we're going to start off this heat soon.
This is Section 3. We'll read those names to you here now. So all Penn and one Mishawaka Marian. Allison Mead, Chelsea Maturi, Sarah Farias, and Catherine Rivas of Mishawaka Marian. The rest Penn. Ariana Phillips, Selin Billigeiser. And then we've got Emily Huerta. And then we've got Gwen Rebeloso to round things out. And we're neck and neck. Two Penn runners just inches apart. And
I couldn't tell. Neither of them did a lean.
I think runner in lane 5, that would be Ariana Phillips. Yeah, I think she got that one there. I think she might have snatched that one away from her teammate. We'll have to wait for the results here.
Stadium lights kicking on finally.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite memories ever here at Mishawaka in the press box here in Still Stadium. This year, or actually, you know what? I think it was last year. I think it was the 23-24 season. It was raining. We were playing. Our Mishawaka was taking on the Wawasee Warriors here in Still Stadium, and it was raining, and you could see it in the lights. It was real cool.
Here are your scores for that last 200-meter heat. In lane 5, Phillips for Penn with 29.85. In lane 8, Rebeluso with 30.02. In lane 1, Mead with 32.12. Yeah, that night was amazing looking, I won't lie. I was working, I believe, the Jumbotron here on the field, and I kept looking up like, wow. Like, it looked amazing, I'm not going to lie.
It's that rain and the polished stadium lights on those white helmets that they came in wear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty cool sight. It's one of the reasons why it's hard not to be romantic about football. It's just, even if you have no idea what's going on the football field, I mean, you gotta have a little fun watching that. I have to imagine.
I feel like America's most loved sports goes baseball first, because it's one of our oldest.
America's pastime, yeah.
And then NFL.
Yeah, football.
Football, I feel like, is in everyone's hearts.
100%. Section 4 of the girls' varsity 200-meter is underway. We've got a lot of Penn and then a few Mishawaka scattered through. Of Penn, we've got Esther Tenga. Also from Penn, we've got Renaya Morris. Again from Penn, Mame Aubrey. And then from Mishawaka, we've got Abigail Lichtenfels. Then we've got Claire Ames of Penn. Tanila Henderson of Mishawaka. Brianna Amanda of Mishawaka. And then Olive Wingfield of Penn High School.
200 meters already completed. We'll give you those scores here in a little bit.
I apologize for that name blunder. That was on lane 6. That's Talijah Henderson there in lane 6 representing Mishawaka.
While we wait for the Heat 4 scores, how about you read the lane or heat 5 for the 200-meter dash junior varsity?
Let's do it. We've got Ariana Martinez of Penn High School in lane 1. In lane 2, we've got Esmer Hernandez of Penn High School. In lane 3, Anaya Williams of Mishawaka. Lane 4, Anna Esguerra of Penn High School. In lane 5, Olivia Bolger of Penn High School. In lane 6, Mishawaka Marian, we've got Cindy Cuistra. And in lane 7, we've got Nyla Robinson of Mishawaka High School, rounding it out with Kirsten Davidson of Penn High School.
We got your scores here up on your screen. In lane 3, Obiri for Penn with 29.98. In lane 6, Henderson from Mishawaka with 32.59. And in lane 2, Morris for Penn with 34.01. Seems like we're going to get it started here on the heat 5 for your 200-meter dash junior varsity.
Yeah, they're getting going here. We got 3 Mishawaka runners and then 5 Penn. And then we got that 1 Mishawaka Marian. Excuse me, just 2 Mishawaka runners. And the 5 Penn and the 1 Marian. And it looks like lane 1 and a close matchup with lane 3. Anaya Williams will take the win there. Ariana Martinez will be awarded first place, I believe. But you know what, Sean? It's kind of hard for us with our angle because once they get once they get to that last 50 meters, their backs are to us, so it's kind of hard to see, you know?
Yeah, I guess when you're building a press box, it's kind of hard to focus on track.
Right.
When you have a football field in front of you.
Right.
Definitely will say that this is a great press box to call football in, though.
Yeah, I mean, really to call any sport that goes on in Steel Stadium, I mean, pretty state-of-the-art area that we're in.
A lot of plugs.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get you these scores for that last heat here in a little bit.
Yeah, and while we got some time, getting ready for you is the 6th and final heat of the JV girls 200-meter dash. In lane 1, we'll have Heidi Diaz. In lane 2, Jamara Young. Again, Diaz in lane 1 of Penn High School, Young of Mishawaka. Layla Stewart of Mishawaka in lane 3. In lane 4, Quinn Driscoll of Penn High School. In lane 5 of Penn High School, Cameron Malone. In lane 6 of Penn High School, Grace Fisher. In lane 7 from Penn High School, Ariana Arthur. And in lane 8, rounding it out, Lexi Jordan of Penn High School, as we get that 6th and final 200-meter dash for the JV girls underway here. Just 2 Mishawaka runners, the rest of the field being Penn. Two Penn runners leading the pack here. And it looks like that was lane 4 that got that win there. I believe that was Quinn Driscoll in lane 4, earning first place in that event there. And next up, Sean, we'll have the girls' varsity 200-meter dash. Only 2 sections of those, or 2 heats, rather. And following that one, believe it or not, we've already made our way to the girls' 3,200-meter run. There's no JV event, or 0 JV heats, rather, I guess is a better way to put it for that one. But during that event, we'll have a special interview with Coach Jay.
Here, I'll get those scores for that last heat. In lane 4, Driscoll for Penn with 28.19. In lane 5, Malone for Penn with 28.59. And then in lane 3, Stewart for Mishawaka with 29.30.
Believe it or not, Sean, we've only got 3 events left.
Really?
Yeah. We've got the 200, the varsity 200, the varsity 3,200, and then we've got the varsity 4x4 as always.
quite the short day, it feels like, even
Yeah.
though it's a double dual meet.
Yeah.
Because our dual meet last week lasted till, I believe, 8-ish?
Yeah, it lasted a while, I heard. We're getting started here with the varsity heat of the girls 200 meter.
Seems like Penn and Marian are going against each other on this one.
And the Penn runner going to win by quite the margin in this first heat.
Of course, we know that Penn is one of the leading schools in most sports and athletics, at least around us.
Yeah, in the area for sure.
Very tough team to go against in basically most events. Though, there's a few times.
Yeah, they have so many students, like we said, and when you've got a lot of athletes to choose from, you've got those results.
And here for your scores, since there's only first and second place, Hitzelman for Penn with 27.91 seconds, and then of course Smith for Mishawaka Marian with 31.46.
And we'll move on to the second heat of the girls 200 meter dash. For varsity, we've got Safiria Lewis of Mishawaka High School, Brianna Briscoe of Penn High School, Sophia Ugwoke of Penn High School, Tanasia Summers of Mishawaka, Zoya Turk of Penn High School, Leah Thomas of Mishawaka, Tiara Lane of Mishawaka Marian, and Leah Dainty of Mishawaka Marian.
Correction on that pronunciation for that first name. It's Safira.
Safira, gotcha.
Yeah. Only reason I know that is because I had a class with her last year.
I see. Thank you. Sometimes I just have no idea.
Yeah. Power line workers still working diligently in the background.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the front of that truck as it lifts that second worker up. Going to be a lot of fixing going on today, but tomorrow, hopefully, nothing else happens.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the storm recently on Sunday left the city with a lot of repairs. So many natural damages occurring throughout the area.
Seems like we're going to get started off here in now.
Second heat of the girls varsity 200 meter dash. Leah Thomas in the top four right now. One of the better runners on the Mishawaka squad. But in lane 3, the Penn runner, Sophia Ugwoke, taking a remarkable lead and finishing first in the event. Leah Thomas, the Mishawaka notable runner, will earn fourth place in that event.
Do not believe Lewis ran that one just now.
Yeah, you'll have that. It's interesting. You got, we've got our names on the sheet, and then sometimes you just got nobody in the lane.
As you can see on your screen, or as you did see on your screen, those workers who don't know that they just got showed on TV or live, I guess, YouTube.
Yeah. You know what?
Hilarious.
Highlight of their night, maybe. You never know.
Here are your scores. In lane 3, we got Ugwoke for Penn with 26.60. In lane 5, we got Turk for Penn with 27.67. And then in lane 2, for third, we got Briscoe for Penn with 29.15.
There you go. Those are your results of the final heat of the girls varsity 200 meter dash. Once again, moving on, we've got the longest event of the evening, the varsity girls 3,200 meter run. And while we wait for them to get ready to go, get set up, get prepared for the long, grueling 2-mile run, we'll take a break and we'll be back with the lane arrangements and then the race.
some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Welcome back.
Great timing, some would say. Right as the sound went off, we came back from break.
Yeah, in lane 1, we've got Ariana Ballingnag of Penn High School. Lane 2, we've got Corinne Flick of Mishawaka. Lane 3, Ellie Bercheski of Mishawaka. Lane 4, we've got Janine Mbionda of Penn. And rounding it out in lane 5, we've got Aubrey Morgan. Again, 2-mile run. And we've got a special guest here for you. We're going to interview Sean and I here shortly. Coach Jay, the mid-distance coach for Cayman Boys Track. Going to let him get his headset on and get ready to go.
You got me?
Yeah, we got you, Coach.
All right. This is pretty cool. You guys doing a wonderful job. It's always nice to be up here, and I think this Mishawaka Network thing is really cool. Last week was my first time being up here while you guys are doing your thing, and I went home, and I'm not going to lie, I went home and I watched the broadcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Well, we appreciate
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah. So we got the 3,200-meter run happening right now. 3 Penn runners, 2 Mishawaka runners. Looks like Ellie Bercheski and Corinne Flick are out there. And then the 3 of the Penn runners, I'm going to guarantee that these are all cross-country athletes. The 3,200-meter run being 2 miles is a long-distance event. And this is right up their alley.
Right, I bet you're right. A lot of those cross-country runners like to do that event because they have, like you said, the most experience with it. It's long distance. It's the long-distance event of track and field. So, you know, that they get a little sprinkle of their fall activities in spring.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so in cross-country in the fall, you know, it's on grass. It's a 5K. It's 3.1 miles. So doing 3.1 miles on the grass is a little bit different than doing 2 miles on the track. But these athletes train year-round. You know, these are year-round runners. Typically about 48 weeks out of the year, they're running probably north of 20 miles per week.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of running.
It is a lot of running. Got to be dedicated for sure. You know, it looks like the Penn girls are taking it out. And Corinne's trying to not lose contact, and her teammate Ellie back there, she's going to have to join that group if she wants to stay up there as well. But on a cold night like this, it is not easy to be standing around for, you know, however long it was since your last event. And I think they both ran the 1600, which is 1 mile, and so they've been hanging out for an hour or so in the cold.
Right, and I'm sure that doesn't do great for the body or for the mind, really. You're thinking about how cold it is and how much you really want to go home, but you've got to run 2 miles in a few minutes, and, you know, it's a big thing, I'm sure, to get mentally prepared for.
It really is, and that's why when you get 3,200-meter runners, they're pretty much running at every meet. They know the deal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that, I'm sure, is because they've got the practice, and a big part of that also is because nobody else is going to want to run it. So it's certainly a challenge for them. You get done with your first 400 meters, that first lap, and you're like, man, I got to do this 7 more times.
That's right. That is right. This is a different style of running as well. You know, that's what's cool about track and field, at least for the track events. You know, sprinting is very different than running longer distance. You're activating different energy systems and using different muscles in the body. So this is an endurance event. You got to last. You got to run at a pace in the first half of this race. You know, 1600 to the 2K mark. You want to run just below the lactate threshold, maybe pushing it just enough to where you're not accumulating that much lactate in your blood that you're going to have a bad second half of the race. You need enough energy towards the last 2 laps to really turn it on.
Did you run track and field in your high school years?
I did not, actually. So I didn't start running until I was 33 years old. When I was here, I was on the football team, and I was a wrestler as well. But as an adult, I fell in love with running. And after a couple of years of being a hobby jogger, I decided that I wanted to get a little bit more involved. So opportunity came here at Mishawaka for me to join the cross-country staff. I did that. And a couple of years later, I joined I joined the cross-country staff in 2019, and then that next spring was 2020. We had like 2 weeks of practice before the season was shut down due to COVID. So that was going to be my first year coaching track. So we had to go to the next year. 2021 was my first year coaching track, and then in 2023 I took over the John Young program as the head coach of cross country over there. So I split my time between the middle school and the high school, but if you do it long enough, it's all the same kids.
Yeah, right.
Penn's still taking this out. They got the 1, 2, 3 up front. Corinne's still not letting that pack get too far away from her, which is very good.
It's a hard thing to do, I'm sure.
Yes, it is. You should give it a shot.
Maybe.
Join us at practice.
We'll have to see, yeah. I spend a lot of my time on the golf course, and as of late, the start of the season hasn't been going too well, so I might have to make the switch.
You and Evan Lynn could be the dynamic duo of track and field.
That's right.
It is true. Evan does
On
enjoy it
and
a
off
lot.
air.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
right.
what, I'll go golfing, and you come run track.
All right. You know, we'll see. We might have to make that deal, Coach. We'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
Looks like there's a lot of separation now between those 3 Penn runners. Well, not too much, actually. She's just snuck in frame, Corinne. She's still hanging in there.
Yeah, and they're not taking it out too fast. They came through the 1600 just above 6-minute pace. So they're just chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling out there. We'll see what happens if these 3 Penn girls are going to make it a competition between the 3 of them. You see Coach Michael Clements out there giving them a little bit direction, and Coach Cove is out there talking to Corinne. He's going to talk to Ellie when she comes through as well. But you can see the Penn girls, you know, they have leggings on, they have long sleeves, some of them have gloves on. But the girl currently running on the outside, second place, I just saw her roll her sleeves up. It's getting warm.
Yeah.
Getting warm for them.
Yeah, I bet. I bet that's got to be tough when you're on a run. I mean, obviously, when you're just having like a nice leisure run, just trying to get the minutes in, getting the steps in, getting the reps, I'm sure it's a lot easier to adjust yourself. You can stop for a second, whatever. You can't really do that or risk that in an event, whether it be cross country or track and field, because, you know, you've got a time and a PR and everything to withhold and defend.
That's what I like about track. You know, I'm a fan of all sports, but with track and field, same thing with swimming and same thing with cross country. Once the gun goes off, there's no timeouts.
Right.
You have to go. So they're coming through now. We got about 1,200 meters to go in this 3,200 meter race. The 2K point, what they just passed through, really is the pull the trigger moment for a lot of the athletes. Looks like they're still kind of chilling. The first 2 of the 3 Penn athletes out there are starting to get a little bit of separation on their third teammate. Corinne's coming around the curve as well.
The gap between Corinne and the third Penn athlete seems to have grown a little bit more as we come along that stretch.
I think you're right. And that third Penn girl is trying to regain contact with the lead group. They're out there. They are going.
Coach, you're the cross-country coach at John Young, and you're also an assistant coach here at Mishawaka for track and cross-country. So you have a lot of experience in giving advice to runners on how to handle these lengthy, sometimes even grueling, especially when the weather comes into play, these grueling and kind of stressful races and events. What's your advice when it comes to losing that separation? Where do you want their head to be at, or they're losing contact with the leaders?
So you don't want to be in no man's land, which is where a couple of the athletes are right now. So if you do lose contact, the first thing that you need to do is regain it immediately. The more that you wait, the further away they're going to get, and the more work that you're going to have to get to put in to try to reach them again. We got 2 laps to go here. Penn's pulling away. But yeah, trying to stay in it from the beginning. You can't let your head go into different areas, thinking about different things. This is where you put the work in. This is where you spend the time. So these athletes are very familiar with this track. They've done a few laps before. So they know exactly where they need to be, and if you're not there, you need to get there quickly.
And just when you get into those last two laps of the 3200 or even the 1600, how important is it to make sure you conserve that energy so you're able to kind of go full steam ahead?
That's the balance, right? And that really only comes with experience. Knowing your paces, knowing what your body is telling you, knowing how to respond to that, knowing how much fuel you have left. That's really what everybody is practicing at practice. Coming up on the bell lap, 100 meters to go until we get to the bell. Penn is 1, 2, 3 right now. There are only 5 athletes in this race. Nobody wants to run it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to run it. But if you do, you've got my respect.
Especially with JV, we don't even have a JV. We didn't even have a JV heat of this.
No, you would to do the fans a favor, you would throw everybody in the one race. You know, otherwise we would be here in 25, 30 minutes just for the 3200.
Right.
Okay, now here we go. It's going to be a race coming up on 300 to go. Penn is still 1, 2, 3, but they are separated. I am
by
not
quite
sure.
a bit for that second and third place.
For sure. I'm not sure the names of the individuals who are leading this race right now, but she's starting to push. She's pushing. 11:30 on the clock right now. Right at the 200 to go. Making the final curve.
When it comes to these last 100 meters, Coach, what's the best advice you can offer to a runner?
You have to change your body position. You have to change from your endurance style running and start sprinting. It's a different set of muscles that you're using. It's a different posture. You should see a visible shift in these athletes if they have the gear and they can shift the gears and do that. But you should have that saved up to the last bit of the race and make that switch. All right, 12-10, 12-11 for the Penn first place, 12-13 for second place. We got third place coming up right now. She's going to come through around 12:22. These are all good times, even though they took it out kind of slow on this very cold April 1st weather. Corinne Flick coming through. 12:36, 12:37. Nice. And Ellie Berchevsky's coming around the last corner. She's got 100 meters to go.
A very surprising outfit for Flick to wear. No sleeves, just a hat and gloves.
Hey, I like it.
Gotta be cold.
I like it.
Hey.
I bet she's pretty warm right now.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure.
2 miles would do that to you, I believe.
You know, I'm going to make a quick announcement. And if you don't mind, I'd like to join you for the 4x4.
That sounds great, Coach.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I was Coach Jay. You'll be hearing from him shortly. As he said, he's got to make a quick announcement regarding the results and the final calling for the 4x4, where the 4x4 will be our last event. And we'll hand it over to Sean Kanarecki for our results.
Our results for the 3,200 meter run was in lane 1, Balanang for Penn with 12 minutes and 10. In lane 4,
It's like beyond
Mibionda for Penn with 12:12. And then in lane 5, Morgan for Penn with 12:22. Kind of funny to see that those first 2 places both got 99 on their milliseconds.
Yeah. They were holding on to that PR. I mean, they wanted to hold on to that last second. It's like we got Coach Jay back on the headset.
Yeah, sorry about that. Need to let all the fans know that we're at the final event of the evening. The sun's still up, even though we've got the lights on. This is really a credit to the officials that we have today. They've really run a fluid track meet.
Right, which is something that's pretty difficult to do with, the timing, making sure you're getting in results effectively, making sure you're getting the runners in the right order, things like that. I mean, it can be a challenge. So credit to them 100%.
definitely have a lot of experience, and there's some of the more sought-after officials in the area. Is that Evan out there?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing
Yeah.
Evan run around a little bit, but yeah, he's out there taking us our photos so we can post them.
Very nice.
We've got all 8 lanes filled up here on the track. Starting off, we've got the Mishawaka relay team. Mishawaka C is their affiliation. First, we'll have Nicole Lear, followed by Maral Farin, Sadine Drobron, and then Taryn Naragon. Mishawaka B's relay team will have Mackenzie Holt, Shajude Jobron, Sylvia Shields, and then Lena Youngkin. Then for Mishawaka Marian A, their affiliation for their relay team, we'll have Sydney Coistra, we'll have Camila Wasowski, Catherine Rivas, and Peyton Mason from Mishawaka Marian A. For Penn A, we'll have Ella N., Samantha Pentalo, Lila Van Hovland. Then we'll have Sharia Nayi to round things out. From Mishawaka A, we'll have Tori Brzeski, then Allie Van Neville, then Tanasia Summers, and rounded out with Corinne Flick. That's Mishawaka A's relay team. Then in lane 6, we'll have Penn's C relay team. We'll have Marissa Manbeck, then Helia Liu, Lane Sierra, and Caitlin Richards. Again, that's Penn's C relay team. And then Mishawaka D in lane 7, we'll have Micah Johnson and Nia Johnson, Nyla Robinson, and then Layla Stewart. And then rounding it out in lane 8, we'll have Penn B's. That's their affiliation for their Penn B relay team. We'll have Luna Liu, and then we'll have Malia Reynolds, then Cameron Nichols, and then we'll have Amber Lewis to round out Penn B's relay team. I think the relay 4x4 is probably the most exciting event of any track meet, hence why they have it last. And things on a good note is their intent, I imagine. It usually has a lot of fireworks within it.
Mm-hmm. I believe starting it with the relay and ending it with a relay just feels very, wrap it up with like a little bow. It feels like you've seen it happen already. You know how it goes. And,
They're nice bookends.
they're nice bookends.
This is a very exciting race. A lot of people run the 400, whether it's in the open 4 or the 4x4. The names that you were reading off for the lineups here, I noticed that you mentioned Corinne Flick again. There are a lot of people who don't want to run the 4x4, but the people who have the biggest complaint are the 3,200-meter runners who get off the track immediately after running the 2-mile and hop straight into a 4x4.
Yeah.
That's got to be grueling work, especially like on these cold early meets. Your body's already kind of stiff from the cold air. Now you just run. Now your body's cooling down again.
There's really only 1 or 2 meets out of the year where it's comfortable, because as we get closer to May, and then if you make it to state finals in June, it gets pretty warm.
Yeah.
And if it's too hot and you're feeling sweaty and sticky and thirsty, and there's no shade, or you're hungry, you kind of wish that it were weather like this right now. Okay, first legs coming through. Going to do their handoff to the second runners. Everybody runs 1 lap here. Penn coming through. Handoff. Mishawaka, handoff, and they're both off.
What would you say is a good thing to focus on for the 4x400 in the racer aspect?
So in the 400, there's only one way to run it, really hard. This is a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go out slow and think that you're going to save it to the end, and you can't go out hard and think that you're still going to have energy. So this is a balance. But this is definitely a sprint. And you see everybody's cutting in. The second runners cut in to the first lane as soon as they can, which is right after the first curve of the second runner. So they were all in their own lanes until they handed it off, and those runners came around the curve, and now they all cut in. Penn's coming through. 50 meters to go on the second leg. So far, running about a 4:20 pace on the whole. About a 4:26 pace. So here's something interesting, a little behind the scenes that you mentioned Coach Shaw. Here's something that he talks about. He compares the fastest miler on the team to the slowest 4x4 team. All right, so if 4 people who are running 1 lap, and Tanasia Summers taking the lead on the backstretch.
Big leap here for Mishawaka.
Coach Cove, of course, counts her as a very, adamant, a very good athlete.
She's an athlete for sure. Running through straight away to the 100. Going to hand it off to the anchor. But anyway, yeah, Coach Shaw compares the slowest 4x4 team to the fastest miler. It's the same distance.
Yeah.
So we'll see what these girls come through. It looks like right now if the final girl runs like a 60 or a 65, then they're going to come through. And that's Nicole Lear, gets it around 3:20. So we'll see what she runs. But the fastest miler we have on the team for the boys, take a guess. Who do you think it is?
We'll go ahead and go with Liam Bauschke.
It is Liam Bauschke. And if he were out there right now running himself, he would run right around 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Wow.
Nicole Lear on the backstretch getting chased down. I think that's Shreya Nai from Penn.
Yep.
This is going to be a race. We'll see what happens when Nicole realizes that she's about to get caught on the curve. Does she have another gear? Did Shreya waste too much energy trying to catch her? We are about to find out.
And Evan Lynn was talking about how when you finally turn that corner right there, that lactic acid in your leg starts to act up.
Exactly. Here we go. 100 to go. Nicole's got it. She's on the inside. Shreya's coming up on the outside. Nicole, here she comes. She's trying to ask for more. Her body doesn't respond. Shreya takes the lead, cuts into lane 1, and wins it for Penn in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Man.
Nice final leg.
Wow. I mean, you talking about ending it with some fireworks is exactly what you want out of a 4x4 to end the track meet.
Exactly. Good run. Good run.
Nicole Lear, I mean, you saw the difference. You talked about that extra gear, Coach, and you saw Shreya just had it. I mean, she was ready to go that last 100 meters with the all-out sprint, and she got it done.
Shreya's different, man. She's different. She's a freshman. Came over, I think she was a soccer player and a basketball player. Talking to her coach earlier today. She was a cross-country stud, and as an 8th grader, she was running low 5s in the 1600.
Wow. And I believe all the runners of the 4x4 to end the event have crossed the finish line, and they'll do it. All the coaches will gather their girls together and discuss the events and the PRs and things like that, things that we need to improve on, things that we did well. And I think that's the next step of this track meet, and then following that, we'll be boarding the buses or meeting in the locker room, going home.
You got that right. Everybody wants to get warm right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. Thanks for having me up here.
Yeah, of course. Next girls track meet when we see you. I know you're coaching with the boys. Next time, I have to get you on the headset again.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
You have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, Coach Jay.
Thanks.
And here for your 4x400 meter relay varsity scores, we got Penn A with 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and then Mishawaka A with 3 minutes and 31 seconds, and then Mishawaka B with 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
We saw that close finish. It was just a second finish, almost 2 seconds there between Nicole Lear and Shreya there. That finish, Coach Jay delivering the exhilarating call there. We got to get him on the headset more. Man, you know what? I had to respect somebody stealing my thunder if they do it that well. Got to get him back on the call here. The next girls track meet, you'll be hearing from Coach Jay. You want to hear from Coach Jay a little bit more, you know what? Either you go run or in the next couple months, keep an eye on the Mishawaka Network's YouTube channel and watch the Liam Bauschke documentary, mini documentary, coming up here soon. It's in the works. We've interviewed Coach Cove. We'll interview Liam Bauschke himself soon, as well as a few of his teammates and family and friends. So yeah, make sure to check that out. Coach Jay, once again, thank you very much. If he's rewatching it like he did the last girls track meet, thank you very much, Coach. Sean, that's all I got. What do you got?
I don't got much. Just stay safe. Make sure anything that is in your yard that could possibly fly away is locked down so it doesn't fly away possibly tomorrow morning.
Yep, good idea.
Safe drive to school, to work, to wherever you're about to go tomorrow. And with that, I guess it's have a good night.
Yeah, like Sean said, if you're driving on the road and we have those crazy, somewhat exhilarating but also terrifying winds tomorrow evening like we did on Sunday, make sure to take that extra second to pull over if you need to, or to head down to your basement or a shower if you don't have a basement. Make sure you take those precautions to stay safe, as that's the most important thing, especially when you're having dangerous circumstances like those like we had on Sunday and like we may have tomorrow evening. But obviously the hope, Sean, is that we don't. I don't believe we're going to get the final score in time. If you want to check that out, make sure you go ahead and make your way to cavemansports.com to check the final score of this double duel meet between the Mishawaka Cavemen, the Mishawaka Marian Knights, and the Penn Kingsmen. I'm Daniel Phillips. Sean Kanarecki to my side, and Coach Jay making a surprise, wonderful cameo. We'll see him a little bit later in a couple weeks. I think that's all we got, Sean. Daniel Phillips, Sean Kanarecki here with the Mishawaka